Jai Jameson, Adam Mellinger, Andrew N. Wong, and Tom Grummett return to the Arrowverse as Clark and Lois regale their sons with the story of their anniversary dinner, while we also learn the secret origin of the Superman from John Henry Irons' Earth. Jai Jameson, Adam Mellinger, and Andrew Wong continue the 2022 Arrowverse crossover with a heartfelt issue that builds on Superman and Lois's world a little more, with some fun stories set before the show. The first one by Jameson was a fantastic showcase of Lois and Clark's enduring relationship, and I thoroughly enjoyed that in showing us this. We saw it wasn't just Clark's Supermaning getting in the way of their family, as it usually is a problem with some iterations. Lois's investigative journalism skills and job get as much time as Superman, which was fantastic, and I loved all the little callbacks to things like the Fleischer Superman with the mechanical monsters, and even Superman 4 with Nuclear Man showing up. Adam Mellinger's short story was a brilliant origin to Clark's drive to be a journalist, tying it to Pa Kent's love for the newspaper and Clark's determination to help out the world any way he can, even ways besides being Superman. Adam made a great use of the 1972 film All the President's Men, starring Robert Redford, using it to great effect to help cement Clark's journalistic integrity. The final story by Andrew Wong was a secret origin to the evil black-suited Superman from season 1, invoking a lot of Superboy Prime and Ultraman in the story, and even using some of Pa Kent's teachings and warping them in a way so that the character gets the wrong message from them, leading to the evil character we saw in that season. The Magog storyline also connects up here very briefly, albeit, with the villain seemingly taking the Superman to use against the heroes, which is going to be a lot of fun to see that character again later down the line. Tom Grummett, one of the biggest artists of the 1990s and the man responsible for things like Reign of the Superman and the Metropolis Kid Superboy design, returns to Superman once more with some fantastic artwork that really invokes a lot of his 90s aesthetics, but with modern coloring and inking, which gives the book this almost timeless feel thanks to it covering eras of Superman from the 1940s Fleischer cartoon all the way up to things we first saw in that first season of Superman and Lois. Earth Prime Issue 2 was a fantastic set of Superman and Lois stories that fleshed out some of the background of the Arrowverse versions of these characters, wonderfully capturing the spirit of the character and delivering some really cool surprises for the crossover story going forward. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Earth Prime Issue 2 heads to the Kent farm where Clark dresses up in a suit, his kids finding it strange to see him in that again, even more than his Superman suit. Lois thinks the boys will get used to the regalia, but Clark thinks of it more as an ensemble, and just because he's Superman doesn't mean he's a normal guy the rest of the time. Jonathan thinks that Normal would be celebrating their anniversary on the day they were actually married, not the day after. Jordan asks why his parents do that, wondering if it's a Kryptonian ritual or something, but his parents know it's a funny story. Years before, Clark gifts Lois some flowers on the 1-year wedding anniversary, getting up and getting ready for work. Lois reminds Clark not to be late for dinner at 9 PM that night, and Clark knows that he wouldn't miss it for the world. As 9 PM rolls around, Clark gets caught up battling some mechanical monsters, causing Lois to leave the restaurant alone. The next day, Clark gives Lois some flowers again, telling her that he managed to get another reservation, not wanting to miss out again. Unfortunately, the Daily Planet's printing press breaks down and no one is able to repair it, so Lois gives it a go, having fixed it before during journalism school. Inside, she finds a little green toy car lodged in the machinery, removing it and allowing the printing presses to begin printing the morning editions. Clark meanwhile helps the waiter from falling and breaking a glass. The waiter apologizes to him for being stood up, but Clark knows it's okay as the next day, Lois brings chocolates for Clark for missing their date, but Lois managed to get another table from the waiter Clark helped out the night before. Clark asks if Lois fixed the presses, told about the toy car which Lois thinks was put there on purpose. Checking with a toy store on the way to work, she discovers that the guy at the store recognized the toy, but he didn't say anything. She decides to dig deeper on this story as they both agree to be there for dinner. Clark, however, is forced to fight against Nuclear Man in Las Vegas as Lois again asks for the check to go home. The next day, Clark brings Lois a burrito home from Las Vegas as they try yet again to book a dinner, wondering if what's happening between them isn't totally unheard of, and them missing a few dinners is okay. Clark wants Lois to know that she's important to him, and Lois understands that he's got a lot going on. On the way to work, Clark looks over the toy car, finding the name Crank Co. is hidden inside of it, as they agree again to meet for dinner. Later on, the toy man tells the other criminals of Metropolis and Intergang that they have an inside scoop on all of the weapons that they could possibly need thanks to a big politician backing his contact. Lois records the conversation before calling Agent Duval, as Clark meanwhile is joined at his dinner table by Stan the waiter, talking with his friend for some time before ordering some food together. The next day, the news reports on Intergang being busted up by Lois, who knows that she couldn't have done it without Clark's help with the toy, but Clark knows that she was the one who executed another perfect Lois Lane takedown. He thinks that Lois has earned herself a break, but Lois knows that she's going to see about this dirty politician backing the Intergang cell. She reveals that she called Stan and the waiter agreed to have an open reservation for them at any time. Clark asks to go somewhere quiet, so going to a nearby park, he wonders if they should cancel dinner and try again when things calm down. Lois tells him that they will be celebrating that night no matter what, as she cancels all her meetings now, with her only one being the interview with the mayor regarding his anti-gun initiative. Clark promises to keep his Supermaning small and local, ready for their date. Clark continues to help people out as Superman around Metropolis until Lobo confronts him, telling the hero that he preferred his old outfit. Superman tells him that his mother made it, asking if Lobo needs help, but upon learning Lobo needs his head, Superman attacks. Lobo is ready with kryptonite chains, knocking Superman out and taking him into space. Lois meanwhile finishes her meeting with the mayor, writing up the story as she tipped off to Bruno Mannheim meeting with his political puppet right now at a hotel. Lois heads over to cover it as on an asteroid at the edge of the solar system, Superman awakens in a shrimp shack that Lobo has placed on the rock. Lobo tells Superman that he's on the edge of the solar system and a red-headed woman paid him a lot of money to bring Superman to her. He offers Superman some shrimp, but Superman smashes him out of the building as Lois soon spots Bruno Mannheim donning a wig to get closer, only to find out that he is meeting with the mayor himself. She takes a photo of the men racing out of the hotel and telling the cabbie to drive her to the restaurant as Superman makes it back to Earth, bumping into Lois as she gets to the restaurant. They both find it's closed though, with Lois knowing they both tried their hardest. Clark wonders if it will always be like this, knowing that she's the world's greatest investigative reporter, and Lois reminds him that he's Superman, making Clark wonder if something will always come up for them. Lois knows that both of them knew this wouldn't be easy, but them wanting the night to work so badly is more proof of their love, and as long as they continue to try that hard for each other, then she has no doubt they'll be okay. Lois does say, however, she was looking forward to the restaurant's Hawaiian pork, but Clark knows a better place that is still serving. Jonathan and Jordan stop their parents' story, figuring out that every year they fly to Hawaii for dinner as their parents head to the island paradise to celebrate their anniversary as the sun sets. Years before, a young Clark and Pa Kent walk through Smallville as Clark remembers growing up in the town where everyone knew everyone's secrets, which made his father more determined to protect his. Clark, however, spots a boy about to get run over by a bus, speeding in front of the bus to save the boy. Clark apologizes to Pa, but he knows that Clark did the right thing. Clark remembers his many memories of his father reading the newspaper every day, with the man knowing that he could never be too informed about the world. One day, Pa gets Clark to watch All the President's Men, his favorite movie, which also happened to be about a newspaper. Clark thought at first that that's all it was, but the more he watched the movie, the more he realized it was more about determined reporters on a crusade to expose the truth. He knows that it wasn't easy for them and they couldn't just walk away, and it made a deep impression on him. Years later, as Superman saves a chopper, he knows that his Pa has been gone for a long time now, and he goes where he is needed, knowing that he's never felt more accepted, but he still wonders what his father would say about his son flying around publicly in tights and a cape and making a spectacle out of his good deeds. He wishes he could see his father reading a copy of the Daily Planet, hoping that he would see his first solo byline in it and be proud. Clark goes to see his father's grave, leaving him the story he wrote, as he knows that his father taught him there are many ways to make the world a better place, knowing he misses Pa Kent dearly. At another time, Clark is told by his father that before every season on a farm, they set fire to what is left over from last season's crops, telling the boy that it makes way for the new crops and it's a controlled burn. A voice knows that the childhood experiences of a boy inform the man he will become, and it's true for everyone, from the powerful to even the insignificant. The voice knows that this was the last spring the boy had with his family, as the Kents are killed in a car accident, with Clark being the only survivor of the crash. The voice knows that the loss would change anyone forever, as he was placed with a new new family who did not love him and picked on him. Clark, thanks to his heightened senses, however, knew that the father of the house was abusing his wife, and he didn't want to let that stand, using his heat vision to kill the man. Clark is run out of the home by the woman, called a freak and a monster, and later he's arrested and taken to a special government facility where he has tests put on him. But Clark resists the interrogation, escaping the prison and finding the ship that brought him to Earth along with a yellow crystal. Clark took the crystal to the Amazon, using it to create a fortress of solitude for himself, as well as learn his heritage from the hologram of Jor-El, who, after Clark explains what has happened to him in his life, knows that the people of Earth must be saved from themselves, wanting to forge the boy into a weapon. As he grew into an adult, Kal-El decided to call himself Superman, fighting the aggressors of the world and even intervening in political wars. No matter how authoritarian he became though, the public still supported him, even despite Kal growing frustrated with how the worst in humanity still persisted despite what he has done. Kal soon met with his brother Tal-Rho, who wanted nothing more than brotherhood and the resurrection of Krypton, telling Kal that despite all he has done as Superman, evil still persists in the world, and if he was to join him, they can restore their people through the sacrifice of the most troublesome humans. Kal knows that 20 years of leading by example has gotten him nowhere, agreeing to help his brother and initiate a controlled burn of humanity. Superman battled the global resistance that sprung up in its wake, destroying Coast City with a nuclear weapon before fighting face to face with John Henry Irons, who escaped the universe before Superman can kill him. But luckily, Magog has been watching this Superman, knowing this Man of Steel will serve his needs nicely.